This is Wallace D. Wattles, the Personal Power Course, 10 Lessons in Constructive Science, Lesson 1, Fundamentals.
In order to get what you want, you must act. And in order to act, you must apply force. And it is self-evident proposition that the force to be applied is one within yourself. If you are to use external forces, they can only be made to act by compelling them to obey you. And to compel them to obey you, you must use your internal force. So, whether you seek health, wealth, development, position, or happiness, you must expect to get it by applying your own inward force. And you cannot get it any other way. Is the force within you sufficient for the task? Yes, the force within you is all the force there is, and contains the potentialities of all life. All life is the same, and contains the same essentials, powers, and possibilities. Nobody ever had a talent which you have not, either as developed or an undeveloped faculty. Nobody ever did a thing which you cannot do by developing the faculty or talent required. And since perfection has not been reached in anything, nobody ever did anything so well but that you can do it better. It is possible for you to become a better soldier than Napoleon, a better lawyer than Daniel Webster, a greater orator than Ingersoll, or a greater inventive genius than Edison. The power is within you, and it's only a matter of development. And if you can eat even a very little food and assimilate it, having it built into new cells, you can have health. The force which can build a few new cells can build you a new body, if it is continuously directed in the right way. Given the fact that you have the force, it all becomes a matter of directing that force. The force being sufficient for the work, the sole question is whether you can learn to use it constructively. For we must bear in mind that every act of force is either constructive or destructive in its tendency. Nature is always working along two general lines, integrating atoms, drawing them together into forms, and scattering and dispersing the same atoms, dissolving the forms. The same agencies are employed in construction and destruction. There is no duality, and we do not find two sets of forces at work. Nature, working with the chemistry of life, with oxygen and the food particles of matter, builds a great oak tree. But when it is finished, it is already dead at heart. And nature goes on with the same agencies, oxygen and the chemical processes, to build our living bodies, is the chief agency in disintegrating them when dead. It is a matter of constructive or of destructive use of the same things, whether we have health or sickness, success or failure. In our bodies, the process of cell construction and of cell destruction are going on continuously. And whenever cell destruction in any part is in excess of cell construction, we are dying in that part. Nothing can save us then but a reversal of this process. We must make constructive action equal to or greater than destructive action. If constructive action equals destructive, we shall hold our own and continue to live. If constructive action exceeds destructive action by even a very little, we shall grow stronger, and the tissues of our bodies will grow finer in texture, more flexible and beautiful, and more useful in appearance. All these truths are self-evident. What we want, therefore, is to make constructive action slightly exceed destructive action in every part, so that a continual refining process may go on in our physical bodies. This we can do. In the matter of business success, we find the same basic principle. Business success is a matter of using certain mental and physical materials so as to combine them into a certain relationship. To succeed in business, we must take certain people and certain things and combine them together in a certain way. And when we have done this, we have succeeded. Just as in building a house, the mason takes bricks and mortar and combines them into a structure, so in business, we seek to take people, goods, money, and bring them into such relations to each other as to form a certain structure. You are trying to build a structure, and your materials are people, goods, money. The certainty and rapidity of the process will depend upon how great a proportion of your actions are constructive. A good bricklayer may waste a great deal of time by doing many things which are not essential to his work at all. He can kill time in lighting his pipe and in various other ways. And a poor bricklayer may lose by imperfect construction. Part of his work may fall down, or may have to tear it down, changing activity from the constructive line to the destructive line. The best bricklayer is he who wastes no time in the irrelevant and negative actions, and who loses none by destructive action, making every act distinctively, rightly constructive. That is what you must learn to do in business. Make constructive use of every person and thing. In order to do this in his work, the bricklayer must have a pretty clear idea of what he wants to build. He must know whether he is working on a square house or a circular chimney. And in order to build your business structure, you must know what you want. Actions which would be constructive upon a building of one type will be destructive upon building of another type. If you are going to build a brick house, you will not buy lumber for a frame house. You will buy brick. And the more clearly you have in mind the house you wish to build, even to its least important details, the more completely you can provide the necessary materials, and the more definite and constructive you can make every action. I cannot lay too much stress on the necessity of wanting to do something and of knowing what you want to do and what you want to be. You might as well put to sea without knowing which port you wish to make as to start in life without a definite purpose. You cannot work constructively unless you have in mind to construct something, and you must have in mind a picture of that which you wish to construct. Aim high, but know what you are aiming at. Do not fire into the air. Hitch your wagon to a star, but know what star it is, and know why you hitched to it. What kind of structure would a bricklayer build who was not sure whether he was working on a circular chimney or a square cottage? We now have called your attention to two fundamental facts. First, that you have within you the power to get what you want. And second, that in order to use this power constructively, you must know what you want. We now proceed to the third fact, which is that before you can act constructively, you must attain to a certain state of mind. We will assume that there are two general states of mind, which we will call the electrical and the magnetic. In the electrical state of mind, your personality resembles a highly charged electrical conductor. There is a constant giving off of energy on all sides, most of which escapes performing no work. Objects brought near are first violently attacked and then, as violently, repelled. Action is sudden, powerful, and inconstant, therefore often ineffectual. The expenditure of the force may be in any direction. There is no continuity of purpose. In the magnetic state, there is always an attraction of certain things and always a repulsion of others. The action is fixed, certain, and always in the same direction. There is no leakage or waste of force. A magnet is a center toward which certain things are irresistibly impelled to move, and from which certain things are as irresistibly driven. So among men, the electrical person sometimes attracts and as often repels those whose friendship he seeks. But the magnetic person always attracts those whom he seeks to attract. The actions of the electrical personality are often destructive and disintegrating, but every act of the magnetic person is a constructive act. So we must learn to avoid the electrical mental state and cultivate the magnetic state. As physical friction generates electricity, so mental friction causes the electrical state of mind. Worry is mental friction, and the one and only cause of worry is fear. Where fear is present, worry is also present. It is all very well to talk of the uselessness of worry, the folly of it, and so on. And it is all very well to tell you not to worry, but you cannot help worrying. So long as you have any fear as to the future. You can only eliminate worry by eliminating fear. You cannot get rid of worry by telling yourself that it is useless, foolish, and harmful. So long as you have fear, you will worry just the same. And you will have fear just as long as you have doubt or uncertainty. So long as you have doubt or uncertainty as to whether you will get well, you will worry about your health. So long as you have doubt or uncertainty as to whether you will succeed in business, you will worry about failure, and so on. Where there is no doubt or uncertainty as to the future health or success, there can be no fear. And where there is no fear, there can be no worry or mental friction. So long as there is doubt or uncertainty, there must be fear. And as long as there is fear, there will be worry, mental friction, and the electrical state of mind, resulting in destructive action. So you must eliminate from your thoughts all doubt and uncertainty that you will get well, that you will succeed, that you will gain your point and get what you want. You may have some uncertainty as to methods, but you must have none as to the ultimate results. You may not feel certain that you will succeed today or next week, but you must feel certain that you will succeed sometime. Now, nothing can eliminate doubt but faith, and only certainty can remove uncertainty. How can you make yourself certain that you will get well and that you will succeed? You can only do it by believing something, by getting down to some basic fact, the knowledge of which will give you certainty. And here is the basic fact, stated in several ways. You have within you the power which can give you perfect health. If constructively used, it will give you perfect health, and you can certainly learn to use it correctly. So there is no uncertainty as to health. You have within you the power which can bring you to abundance. If constructively used, it will bring you to abundance, and you can certainly learn to use it constructively. So there is no uncertainty about wealth. You have within you the power which can develop any or all of your talents. If constructively used, it will develop them, and you can certainly learn to use it constructively. So there is no doubt about development. Now, you have the bad habit of thinking of these things as matters of uncertainty, and you must get rid of this habit and form the one of thinking of them as matters of certainty. This you can do by making the power within you the subject of constant meditation, by thinking it all the time. As an abstract proposition, you know that you can get what you want. Keep thinking about this as a fact until you habitually think that you can get what you want. And then keep on meditating and considering until you continually feel that you can get what you want. Continuous meditation upon the fact that you can get what you want will in a very short time establish a feeling that you certainly will get what you want. And when that feeling is established, you will enter the poised or magnetic state of mind. It is not enough to merely give your intellectual assent to the proposition that you have within you the power which can. You must feel that you have this power, and the feeling is only established by continuously meditating upon the fact. For a month, then, spend all the time you possibly can in pondering upon the fact that you have within you the power which can accomplish what you want. It is not a theory or a supposition, but a fact. Think of it as a fact until you feel that it is a fact. And then you will have taken the first great forward step in constructive thought and action.